There is a moment, right before a deal is announced, where the rumor is worth more than the truth. Where a Bloomberg report, a leaked email, a whisper from someone's cousin who works in finance can move billions of dollars in seconds. And then the denial comes, and the stock craters. And somewhere, a guy who bought the rumor is now learning what the phrase exit liquidity means from personal experience. Today we have 5 stories about acquisition rumors, failed deals, and the special kind of financial damage that happens when you mistake speculation for reality. Welcome to the casino. The house always wins. But at least the memes are funny. We start gentle. Trade 1. A mystery post, a mystery loss, and a community that immediately prescribes a career in fast food. Meet Restarted Beaver 69. The username alone tells you everything you need to know. This is someone who has failed before and is currently failing again. The post title is just, "What do I do?" That's it. No context, no tickers, no dollar amounts, just vibes and existential dread. The body says, quote, "Is this gonna feed the lost porn addicts here, or will I see a calm 100%? Sir, those are not the only 2 options." He posted a screenshot. Let's look at the actual damage. Now here is where I take a brief educational aside, because Restarted Beaver is asking the wrong question. The question is not lost porn or recovery. The question is, do you have a plan? Or are you just hoping? Because hope is not a trading strategy. Hope is what you use when you've already lost and you're rationalizing not cutting your losses. The community, as always, delivered. The top comment, 127 upvotes, simply says, "Learn to memorize this. Bun, lettuce, cheese, patty, ketchup, mustard, bun." That is a Burger King order assembly sequence. They are telling him to get a job. Second comment, 119 upvotes. "Bro, sell and take that 4K. So we now know the loss is roughly $4,000, which for WSB is honestly Tuesday. The community has spoken. The verdict is unanimous. Someone else says, "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" I love this community. I genuinely do. And then Jesus Right Nut, a username I will not be elaborating on, drops this gem. "4K is plenty to rebuild. Be less retarded next time." That is somehow both brutal and genuinely encouraging. We've all been there. Different amounts. Same energy. Trade 1 lesson. When you post a loss to WSB asking what to do, the answer is always the same. Sell. Touch grass. Learn the burger assembly sequence. This is the gentlest story we have today. It only gets worse from here. Now we enter the acquisition drama. This is where the theme of today's video really starts. Because trades 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all connected by one beautiful, stupid phenomenon. The deal rumor pump. Here is how it works. Someone leaks a rumor. Bloomberg writes a headline. The stock pumps 8% in a day. Everyone who bought the rumor feels like a genius. And then the denial comes. And the stock craters. And the Bloomberg reporter is already on their next story. Trade 2. PayPal. Ticker PayPal. A company that was once worth $250 billion and is now worth considerably less. But for one shining moment, there was hope. Bloomberg reported that Stripe was exploring acquiring PayPal. The stock jumped 8%. People were doing math. People were making plans. One guy in the comments was literally praying for a $235 buyout price. We'll get to him in a minute. Now, let me explain why this deal was always insane on its face. Stripe does about $1 billion in annual revenue. PayPal does over $30 billion. Stripe is privately held, meaning it cannot use its own stock as acquisition currency. It would need to borrow an absolutely astronomical amount of cash to buy a company 30 times its revenue size. This is like your neighbor who drives a Civic trying to buy a yacht. But none of that mattered on Monday. On Monday, PayPal was up 7%. And then Tuesday, it was up another 8%. 15% in 2 days on a rumor. And then Semaphore, a publication I had also never heard of before today, published a report saying PayPal is not in talks with Stripe or anyone else. The stock dropped 6%. Immediately, gone. Just like that. The comments on the denial post are, I have to say, magnificent. Top comment from the original poster himself. My cat would like to offer 3 kibbles to acquire PayPal. Poetry. 45 upvotes for this absolute gem. Shocking, absolutely shocking that Bloomberg would make up stuff to create exit liquidity. And look, that is a very cynical read. But it is not an entirely wrong read. And then there is this offer. I'll offer a dry handjob for it. Honestly, at this rate, that might be more than Stripe can put together. Now here is what you need to understand about acquisition rumor plays. They are almost always a trap. The people who profit from them are the ones who already owned the stock before the rumor. The people who buy the headline are providing exit liquidity for those people. You are not playing the rumor. The rumor is playing you. But wait, it gets worse. It always gets worse. Because while the PayPal denial post is entertaining, there is another PayPal post. From the day before, when the rumor was still alive. And one of the comments there will make you feel things. Trade 3. We are still in PayPal world. But now we meet the man behind the curtain. The guy who is down 80% on PayPal and is genuinely, desperately hoping that a Stripe acquisition will save him. His comment is the saddest 6 words in finance. Down 80%. On a company that at one point was worth $250 billion. And his only hope is a $235 buyout. For context, PayPal was trading around $68 when this post went up. He needs the stock to triple, via an acquisition, from a buyer who just said they are not interested. There is also this comment which I need you to read carefully. That's just insane that a company like Stripe, which just reported $1 billion in annual run rate, could buy PayPal, which does north of $30 billion in revenue. I have no skin in the game, but it almost seems like some power players are holding PayPal down to steal it. Sir, the conspiracy is not why your stock is down 80%. And then my personal favorite comment of the day. Someone celebrating the PayPal pump by upgrading from the 7.99 Taco Bell Lux box to the 9.99 Lux box. Not a Ferrari. Not a vacation. The premium Taco Bell value meal. We've all been there. Different amounts. Same Taco Bell. Here is the lesson from the PayPal saga, and I want you to hear this clearly. When a stock has already fallen 80% from its all-time high, that is not a discount. That is a sign that something is fundamentally wrong. A buyout rumor does not fix fundamental problems. It just gives you a brief window to exit before the next leg down. The down 80% guy is not getting his $235 buyout. He is getting the Costco hot dog, the bag of chips, the kibbles. That is the market's offer. Take it or leave it. Okay, we have done 2 PayPal stories and a mystery loss post. Let's check in on how the damage is accumulating. Trade 1, a few $1,000s, some burgers to flip. Trades 2 and 3, a guy down 80% praying to a deity that has already stopped listening. But our next trader took a different approach to acquisition drama. He decided to bet $82,000 on it. Trade 4, Netflix, ticker Netflix, a company that, unlike PayPal, is actually doing well, which makes what this person did even more confusing. The post title is, Netflix has me excited for tomorrow. The body says, been riding it all the way down. Tomorrow is my day. And then there is a screenshot, $82,000. In out-of-the-money Netflix leaps, that he has been holding while they bleed. $82,000 in out-of-the-money Netflix leaps. Let me say that again slowly. $82,000 in out-of-the-money, long-dated options that he has been holding while they bleed. Quick educational aside because I can feel your confusion. A LEAP is a long-dated option. It stands for Long-Term Equity Anticipation Security. Instead of expiring in a week like the casino tickets most of WSB uses, LEAPs can expire 1 to 3 years out. They cost more, but they give the underlying stock more time to move in your direction. Out of the money means the strike price is above the current stock price. So you need the stock to go up significantly before you see any intrinsic value. This is not the craziest strategy in the world. Holding them while they bleed and calling it riding it all the way down is the crazy part. The community response was, as expected, deeply supportive. Top comment with 45 upvotes. You can buy a new shirt, which implies he cannot currently afford a new shirt. Second comment, damn dude, 82K on OTM leaps? Post your gains tomorrow. Note the complete absence of, I'm sure it'll be fine. Don't you sell a penny from maximum side. This is the WSB spirit in its purest form. Your position is down substantially. You have been riding losses. Your options are decaying daily. And the correct response apparently is diamond hands. Do not sell a penny. I respect the commitment. I do not respect the logic. And someone notes the stock got a $19 per share boost, which on an $82,000 leaps position could mean meaningful recovery. Could, depending on the strikes, depending on the expiry, depending on whether the Netflix acquisition drama plays out in his favor. Which brings us to Trade 5. If you are watching this and you have $82,000 in OTM leaps right now, no, stop, close the app, call someone, not a financial advisor, person, a human being who cares about you. Call them. Okay, I have been building to this. Trade 5 is not about someone losing money. Trade 5 is about someone who played the acquisition game perfectly by doing absolutely nothing. And the market rewarded them for it. This is the final boss of today's video. Netflix, Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount Skydance, a $2.8 billion breakup fee, and the most elegant piece of corporate jiu-jitsu I have seen in years. Here is what happened. Netflix had a deal on the table to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery assets. Paramount Skydance came in with a competing bid of $31 per share. The WBD board looked at both offers and said Paramount's is superior. Netflix then declined to raise its bid. And here is the key detail. Paramount agreed to pay the $2.8 billion breakup fee that WBD would owe Netflix for walking away from the original deal. So to summarize, Netflix walked away from a deal, got paid $2.8 billion to walk away, and their stock went up. They made money by not buying something. That is the move. That is the Sun Tzu stuff. Let me explain the breakup fee concept because it is actually important here. When two companies sign a merger agreement, they often include a breakup fee. This is a penalty one party pays if they decide to walk away from the deal. It protects the other party from wasting time and money on a deal that falls apart. Usually these fees are paid by the company walking away. In this case, Paramount agreed to pay Netflix's fee, meaning Paramount wanted this deal so badly they were willing to pay Netflix to step aside. Netflix essentially got $2.8 billion for sitting at the table. Now let's talk about Paramount. Because while Netflix is over here collecting billions for walking away, Paramount is doing the financial equivalent of paying full price at a car dealership for a car that is on fire. The top comment on this post has 845 upvotes and it reads, Paramount taking on like what? 100 billion in debt for a company posting massive losses? Paramount has a market cap of 12 billion and also posting huge losses. Totally cool and will definitely work out well. That is the most perfect sarcasm I have read this week. Let me put the Paramount situation in perspective. A company with a $12 billion market cap is taking on 100 billion in debt to buy a company posting massive losses. The debt is 8 times their market cap. This is like taking out a mortgage for 8 houses when you can barely pay rent on the apartment you're in. 224 upvotes for this prophecy. Netflix will buy this after the idiots at Paramount run it into the ground within 2 years. They will pay pennies on the dollar for it. This person is not wrong. This is exactly the playbook. Netflix didn't want Warner Brothers Discovery. They wanted Paramount to pay a premium for it, saddle themselves with debt, struggle for 2 years, and then Netflix swoops in at a discount. Sun Tzu. Absolute Sun Tzu. And then there is this guy. 131 upvotes. Damn. I should have bought more. Bought 7 shitty shares this week. My brother in finance. Netflix spiked 10% on this news. 7 shares. You made maybe $40. Meanwhile, Netflix is counting 2.8 billion. Different leagues. And the Sun Tzu comment, 66 upvotes, which I need to read in full. Netflix played Paramount hard. They never really wanted Warner Brothers. They just wanted Paramount to saw off an arm and a leg to have it. That is the clearest analysis of this entire situation. Netflix used the acquisition rumor as a weapon, not to acquire anything, to make their competitor weaker. Netflix stock spiked 10% on the news that they walked away from a deal. PayPal spiked 15% on rumors that never materialized. Warner Brothers Discovery fell. Paramount is now drowning in debt. And somewhere, a guy with 82,000 in Netflix leaps is either celebrating or still holding. We don't know. He never posted the gains. The lesson from Trade 5 is the opposite of every other lesson today. The PayPal guy bought the rumor and got wrecked. The Netflix leaps guy rode losses hoping for a catalyst. The down 80% guy is praying for a miracle buyout. And Netflix created the rumor, collected the fee, and let someone else do the dying. That is the difference between retail and institutional. We are not the house. We are never the house. The stonks are strong with Netflix today. Let's bring it all together. 5 stories. 1 theme. Acquisition rumors are a game. And if you don't know who the sucker at the table is, it's you. Trade 1, mystery loss, burger career advice, a few $1,000s in the hole. Honestly, the most relatable story of the day. We've all posted a loss to the void hoping someone would tell us it's going to be okay. The void said, bun, lettuce, cheese, patty, ketchup, mustard, bun. Trades 2 and 3, PayPal. A stock that went up 15% on rumors, then down 6 on denials, while a man down 80% upgraded to the $9.99 Taco Bell box and another man predicted a $235 buyout that will never come. The Costco hot dog remains on the table. He should probably take it. Trade 4, $82,000 in out-of-the-money Netflix leaps, ridden all the way down, held with the conviction of a man who has nothing left to lose. He did not post his gains. He may not have had gains, but he was excited for tomorrow. We respect that. We do not endorse it. And Trade 5, Netflix, who played 4-dimensional chess while everyone else was playing checkers, got paid $2.8 billion to walk away from a deal they may never have wanted. Watched Paramount take on $100 billion in debt, and then went home. That is not a trade. That is a masterclass. The market is full of rumors. Some of them are true. Most of them are not. And the ones that pump stocks the most are usually the ones designed to create exit liquidity for the people who started the rumor. Every time you buy a Bloomberg acquisition headline, ask yourself, who is on the other side of this trade? And why do they need you to buy right now? If you can't answer that question, you are the answer. That's today's video. Remember, the burger is not a demotion. The burger is wisdom. Bun, lettuce, cheese, patty, ketchup, mustard, bun. See you next time.